Hi, I'm Stephen Cox at the Real North Idaho Show. I'm here at the Pavilion in Post Falls, checking out My Sushi Sensei. Come on in, let's check it out. Isaac, what inspired you to start My Sushi Sensei?
Well, that's a great question. I started teaching because we really started with teaching sushi, and that was our main focus for a couple of years. And then I started learning sushi back in college on a dare from my brother. He bet me that I couldn't, and I bet him that I could, and it was on. So I went home, watched what felt like 1,000 YouTube videos, went into different restaurants, watched their chefs hone their craft. Eventually, I considered myself learned. I taught him, taught friends, taught family, taught pretty much anyone and everyone who'd sit down and listen. Then I got laid off in 2019, and I was like, well, if there was ever a time to start a service-based business dealing with raw fish in people's homes, it's during a global pandemic. Let's go. No, it was a terrible idea. But we've been furiously singing sushi ever since, and we just got our first brick and mortar location opened up in February of this year. We're really excited to be here. It's been a long time coming, and a lot of this was already done before we got here. So we just put our little spin on it, changed the menus up a little bit, and yeah, just dove in head first.
What sets you apart from other sushi places?
I really like the quick service aspect, but it's the education that really sets us apart. We really leaned into teaching and educating people on how they can better eat and get the best sushi possible. And that's what I really love about My Sushi Sensei is we're really focused on education, on people, and making sure that everyone's eating awesome sushi.
What are your best sellers?
Best sellers? We got a couple. So our B52 is one of our most popular rolls. That may be because I sell it a little bit, but it's a smoked steelhead roll, and we get all of our smoked steelhead from Fisherman's Market over in Coeur. They're fantastic. Another really popular one is our tuna volcano. It's a spicy tuna roll topped with avocado that has tuna poke in the middle. It's a huge fan favorite right now. The spring roll is also really great. It's topped with hamachi, which we love. And then we've got another caterpillar roll, which is pretty standard for sushi menus. But yeah, those three are probably our biggest sellers.
Wow, you make me hungry with all those rolls.
I know, right?
What does North Idaho mean to you?
Home. It means home. I was born over in Spokane, but raised in Coeur d'Alene, and I've lived in Coeur d'Alene for most of my life. And after college, I moved away to try and find a place that spoke to me and realized that, nope, Coeur d'Alene's the place. So we moved back, since moved over to Post Falls, but yeah, I've been here since 2003.
When you're not slinging sushi, what are you doing?
Ooh, that's a great question. I love to talk business with friends, family, and work on other people's businesses. So it's kind of pretty much all I do at this point is working on people's businesses, working on my own businesses. My Sushi Sensei is business number 3 for me, and really trying to figure out what works, what doesn't, and just diving in head first. We're offering classes here at the Post Falls Pavilion, and we also offer our mobile classes where we'll come into your home, take over your kitchen, and teach a 2-hour cut and rolled sushi class that covers the tools and tricks of the trade, all the way from the origins of sushi right up to the modern day.
And can you have that like for a party and have people over for that?
Absolutely. We teach anywhere from 6 to 16 people, depending on what kind of experience you're looking for. And we can teach all the way up to 60. Making sure that we've got just a good understanding of what your expectations are, whether it's a birthday party, friends and family event, or a corporate team building event, we can absolutely knock it out of the park. We came up with My Sushi Sensei after kicking around a bunch of different ideas. It was going to be Sushi Sunday because I really like the idea of sushi being on Sunday and having a relaxed environment, being with family. But then we realized that everyone thought that we were only open on Sundays. So we had to figure out what else that we did really well that we could bring into that name. And sensei in Japanese is teacher. So Sushi Sensei just kind of worked. And then we were trying to figure out how to incorporate it and make it our own. And then My Sushi Sensei came up as an option that we decided we were going to go with, and it's been working really well for us.
What's the origin of sushi?
So the original form of sushi is called nara sushi, and it originated in ancient China rather than Japan, like most people believe. And it was just fermented fish on top of soured rice. So how they ended up creating it was the rice paddy workers would flood their fields to water their paddies, and with the floods would come fish, and as the waters receded, the fish would get trapped. So the workers would scoop them up to eat them, but to save them, they tucked them down into beds of rice that caused the fish to undergo a lacto-fermentation process, pulling all the moisture out of the fish, leaving the fish preserved, but the rice soured. And it was a combination of soured rice and preserved fish that they coined nara sushi. There are tons and tons of different types of sushi, but the main ones that we focus on in our classes are sashimi, nigiri, traditional rolls, and specialty rolls. Sashimi is just cuts of fresh fish, usually presented solo or over a bed of rice as chirashi. Nigiri actually is a similar cut of fish, but presented over a piece of rice and eaten as a single unit. And traditional rolls are more often than not what you'll find in Japan for rolled sushi. And they're hozomaki is their traditional name. And they are nori on the outside, very few ingredients on the inside, really meant to demonstrate the beautiful nature of the fish and to give you those great flavors, and all in one little tight contained unit. Then there's specialty rolls, which is Americanized sushi, or uramaki. That is what you'll find predominantly in the United States. It's got rice on the outside, oftentimes tons of different toppings, ingredients coming out your ears, and they're usually presented very beautifully. Once you get started into it, that's our biggest thing, is helping people understand what's out there so that they can quit settling for second-rate sushi. That's my dream, is to help people better understand what they like, what they don't like, so that they can eat the best sushi possible. We are at the Post Falls Pavilion, right off Highway 41 in Post Falls, right next to Real Life Ministries. So most people will come to it's actually a food truck court, so we're surrounded by food trucks, and we're actually inside the building right now. And so you'll come inside, and we're one of the food establishments inside the building.